It may be the most expensive non-presidential political race in the history of the country, Clay. Have you seen this? Ohio Senate
Yeah.
race between Bernie Moreno and Sherrod Brown is estimated to cost at this point $467 million. It is an absolute razor thin margin. Bernie Moreno is with us. We are confident he is going to win. Bernie, great to have you back. Why are Democrats throwing so much money into this? I mean, a Senate seat, I'm not saying it's not an important and valuable thing, but $500 million? What's going on here?
Yeah, half a billion is probably where it ends up. 467 was probably a week or so ago. It's that expensive for one simple reason. I win. Republicans control the United States Senate. And of course, if that happens, it means D.C. won't be a state. Puerto Rico won't be a state. They won't pat the Supreme Court. They won't give citizenship to illegals. They won't ban fracking. We're not going to fund endless wars. This is their agenda. So their agenda ends tomorrow night the minute I am declared the winner of this race.
Bernie, good news. And I know you want everybody to show up. And I bet we've said this a billion times on this show. Go vote, go vote, go vote. But Emerson Polling just came out with a poll. I think I saw it in the last few minutes. They have Trump up 12 in the state of Ohio. They have you up 4. You are now, and you may not be comfortable with this, but in Real Clear Politics, you are now the favorite to win the race. I know you want everybody to go vote, sprint through the finish line, everything else. But does that reflect the momentum that you are seeing on the ground in Ohio and the fact that you have taken control of this race in your mind?
Yeah, absolutely. Because it comes down to this. My opponent is a 50-year career politician. He's run 18 campaigns. People are sick and tired of these people that go to D.C. forever. This guy's racked up trillions of dollars of debt. He's for the Green New Deal. He wants men playing in women's sports. I mean, that's not what Ohio cares about. They want to turn the page and cancel the Sherrod Brown show. And at the end of the day, they just want their country back, and they want leaders that won't treat them like garbage. They want people who go to D.C. that actually advocate for them, care about them. Actually, I'll say it this way, that actually love the American people and love this country. And that's not who Sherrod Brown is. He's a total fake, a total fraud. And we're going to win this election tomorrow. We feel really good about where we are. President Trump is going to win Ohio big time. Ohio loves President Trump. So we feel good about where we are in the race.
What's the closing message like? Because my understanding, Clay, was in Pennsylvania, right? You just saw some of the last ads for Casey there.
Yes.
They're running ads in Pennsylvania. They're like, yeah, Bob Casey. Hey, he's a reasonable guy. He's going to work with Trump. He's going to do the cross the aisle thing. You can trust Bob Casey. I have a feeling, I don't live in Ohio, but Sherrod Brown's running a similar playbook in the closing hours. What can you tell us about how that's going?
Well, his messaging has been all over the board. Generally, his message is Bernie Moreno's a bad guy. He's the only thing he's got. But what's interesting is his closing message is something I didn't anticipate. His closing message is that he wants Ohio to vote for him because he sent hundreds of billions of dollars to Ukraine. Like, you can't even make that up. It is so crazy. I mean, that is not even a top 20 issue here in Ohio. My closing message wasn't delivered by my amazing team or my campaign consultants. It was delivered by a 6-year-old in first grade in Columbus, Ohio, when I went to visit that school last week. When he looked at me and said, "You're Bernie Moreno and you're going to win." And I said, "Well, why do you say that?" He said to me, "Because Sherrod Brown is just too liberal for Ohio."
I love that. What will you be looking for in the state of Ohio on Election Day tomorrow where you think you'll be able to glean how the race is going? We've been number one in Cleveland, Columbus, and Cincinnati at different points during the course of this year. So obviously the state loves this show. What part of Ohio do you think, and I know all of it is the answer, but what would you like to be able to have access to right now a day early to have a sense for how this is going to go?
Well, you have to understand that in Ohio, early voting is over. It ended yesterday. Over 2.5 million people in Ohio voted already, so that's done. There's no voting today. Polls open tomorrow at 6:30 until 7:30 p.m. Republicans have a 260,000 vote advantage over Democrats as I talk to you right now, 30 hours before this is over. What we need is every last Republican to go out and vote tomorrow. This has got to be a landslide election. In that Emerson poll, the most important number wasn't the up 4, it's that Sherrod Brown's at 45. So we got to have a double-digit win tomorrow, and the way we do that is get everybody who's listening on this call, make a plan to go vote tomorrow. If you've already voted, find a friend, find a relative that you can go take to the polling booth or watch their kids while they poll, or do whatever you can. But we have to swamp the vote tomorrow, not only to the people of Ohio, to the people of this country. This election matters. We got to vote like our country depends on it, because it does.
Bernie Moreno with us now, running for Senate against Sherrod Brown in Ohio, and it's a critical seat. As he's pointed out, I mean, they're spending hundreds of millions of dollars on this race because it's control of the Senate, really, that we're talking about here. It's not just another Senate seat because of the way the numbers are likely to play out here. To that end, Bernie, we get so many people that they've already voted earlier, they're about to go vote. They assure us they're about to do it if they haven't voted yet. But they're very concerned. There's a very palpable, very real fear out there that there's going to be shenanigans. I'm just wondering, can you speak to any election integrity measures that the RNC's got in place, poll watchers, lawyers? I mean, just so that people, because I think that if they feel like it's all going to be more likely on the up and up, there are a lot of people on our side on the right who are more likely to make sure they get there, especially if they're day of voters.
Well, first of all, in Ohio, we're in great shape. Ohio, we're going to have a result tomorrow night. It'll happen pretty quickly. We tabulate our early and absentee votes right at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. There's a possibility this race gets called early. So Ohio, don't worry about Ohio. The other states, President Trump and Michael Whatley, the chairman of the RNC, has done a phenomenal job of protecting the ballot. We've had lawsuits that we've been victorious on all over America. So I think we're going to have a good election tomorrow. Look, they're not going to cheat. They're trying to lie. They're just trying to pretend there's something they're not. Look, they're running on a campaign of hope, except that the hope that they have is that you forget the last 4 years.
Bernie, they're hoping Hitler doesn't win is really what they seem to be telling everybody.
Well,
so.
they hope that Americans forget about the 12 million illegals, generationally high inflation, instability all over the world, our messes in our cities that are a disaster. So that's what they're hoping for, is that we just have amnesia and that we pretend that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris didn't exist. But the reality is Ohio and Americans are too smart for that. We're going to win big tomorrow, but everybody listening, make a plan for tomorrow. You go out there and vote. And if it's a 2-hour line or a 3-hour line or a 4-hour line, you remember what the people who came before us gave up. They gave up their lives. They gave up their fortunes to give us this freedom. You stand in line and you vote and you make your voice heard. That's the most important thing we can do tomorrow.
You are surging. We're talking to Bernie Moreno and helping Republicans take back control of the Senate. Tim Sheehy is dominating right now in Montana. West Virginia is a pickup. Are you seeing the same thing? We got listeners all over the country. I was with Dave McCormick in Pennsylvania Saturday. You got Mike Rogers up in Michigan. You've got Eric Hovde in Wisconsin, Kerry Lake in Arizona, Sam Brown in Nevada. A rising tide can lift all boats. There are a lot of Senate races out there that could be decided by a couple of points. What are you seeing on the battleground map overall for the Senate?
I mean, it's a chance that we have an epic class. I mean, Nella Domenici in New Mexico, Hung Cao in Virginia. It's possible that we all win. And here's what I'll tell you, because we've had a lot of conversations between us. This will be a freshman class that's going to go there to actually get the agenda done. We're going to secure the border, have energy dominance, peace around the world. We're actually going to cut the deficit. We're going to make certain that we shrink the size and scale of the federal government. We're going to get normalcy back to America. So if you're in any of those states, go out there and vote Republican all the way down to ticket. If President Trump wins Arizona, and everybody who votes for President Trump votes for Kerry Lake, she'll win. Same in Nevada, right. Same in Wisconsin. So that's what we got to do. You got to go in there and vote. Don't just vote for President Trump. Go all the way down to ticket. It's really important. This is the election we'll talk to our kids and grandkids about, because this is the election that America decides who it is. We're the country that's founded on freedom, personal responsibility, a small government that gets out of our way. It's not a socialist country. It's not a communist country. We're not the country of Bernie Sanders. That's not who we are. We're going to reject that tomorrow.
Bernie Moreno, everybody. Bernie, we got a lot of confidence in you. We got a lot of Ohio listeners, and I know that they're going to get out there and get it done. So We'll let you get back to it, focus on it, and just promise us when you have a victory lap to run, you'll come and do one here on the show.
Absolutely. I'd be happy to. This is a big sports state, so if you'll have me, if I win tomorrow, we'll give our voters updates every once in a while on your show. And thank you for everything that you guys have done. You're making a difference.
We're trying.
Amen. By the way, you are killing it. Get out, Ohio. Put Bernie Moreno in the Senate. Have fun this last 24 hours and enjoy tomorrow.
You got it. Thank you, guys.
Bernie Moreno, Buck. I mean, look, West Virginia, again, we're focused. We want Trump to win, but I think you need to understand the overall Senate map. West Virginia is a win. Thank you, West. I was trying not to curse. By God, Virginia. So you guys got it to 50-50. Problem is with 50-50, obviously, the VP is the tiebreaker in the Senate. We saw that with Kamala too often the last 4 years. Tim Sheehy in Montana is looking great. Bernie is now favored in Ohio, all the polls. He's surging. And then I'm telling y'all, McCormick in Pennsylvania, Eric Hovde in Wisconsin, Mike Rogers in Michigan. He just ran through a lot of that list. Sam Brown, we're up right now in Nevada. Kerry Lake, Arizona is storming the polls, Buck. I mean, Republicans have a 200,000 early vote lead in Arizona. This could be a transformative race in the Senate. Trump matters a great deal, but senators have 6-year terms. So if you flip the Senate and Republicans take a 3 or 4 lead, it's going to be really hard to suddenly take back control of the Senate in any of the upcoming election cycles.
Look, it's going to be a very interesting night tomorrow night. This is the point of the game, and you're like, whoever has more points on the board is going to win. Bernie Moreno's run a great campaign, and he's clearly better for the country and would be a better option than his opponent, Sherrod Brown. And I'll just say this. You know that something's up when no Republicans in the Senate, or in running for Senate, I should say, Clay, are pretending to be Democrats to win. You know what I mean? This is not happening anywhere. There's no Republican who's in a tight race who's like, you know what? I think Kamala Harris is really smart, and I really want to work with people like Chuck Schumer.
I'm going to reach across the aisle with Kamala. I can't wait. That gives you a really good sense for what their numbers show.
But it's not even just the numbers, though, right? Like, of course, yes. It's so dishonest because they will not do that at all. Sherrod Brown will do exactly what Chuck Schumer tells him. And I'm not even just saying this because we just had Bernie on. This is the maneuver they do. They have a huge advantage with the legacy media. You know, Kamala, they spent $1 billion in 4 months on Kamala Harris. And they're just trying to use just blunt force propaganda to convince people, whether it's Senate or presidency, Clay, that the people that they're voting for, that you're voting for people who aren't what they so clearly are, which is left-wing partisan Democrats who will do exactly what the machine tells them. All the money that's being spent, right, is actually to obviously demonize Republicans and convince independents that Democrats aren't actually Democrats, that there's something else. I'm a maverick. I'm in the middle. I do my, you know what I mean? It's just so dishonest. Yeah. It's so dishonest. And
that's why you can't split, right? I understand some of you out there are like, oh, I'm bipartisan. Like, I'm going to vote Trump, but I'm also going to. No. If you are voting Trump, you need to be voting for the Republican candidates in your jurisdictions, in your states, in your congressional districts, because otherwise you're saying you want Trump, but you want him kneecapped so that he can't actually accomplish anything.
Yeah. It makes ticket splitting makes no sense to me. Like that I'm just like, why bother? If you're going to give Trump a Democrat Senate and House, you know what they're going to do? Dig in their heels, impeach him, and act like maniacs the whole time. That's all they're going to do. That's all they're going to do. I guarantee it. I would place a bet with anybody on it. It's quite clear to me. And, one of the big problems we face here is that there are so many Democrats out there, unfortunately, who lack, strength comes from within. And that inner calm, that peace of having the stamina, the oomph to get it done, know that you can count on yourself. If you feel like you're lacking a little bit of that, a lot of Democrats, not enough T, let's be honest, talking about the guys now, not enough testosterone. And there are other things that you need to have the biochemistry balanced for to get the most out of your day to be as productive and as much of a champ as you can. This is where chalk comes in. I'm telling you right now, people take chalk, they're voting Republican. because they can get what they need out of their day. They don't need the government, the state, to step in and be like, "Oh, I'm Brian Stelter. I can't do anything. You need to help me. I need a bottle." No, Chalk makes it so that you are fired up and ready to get after it day in and day out. Guys, as we get older, no matter how right wing you are, some things start to drop. It's natural. It's just the circle of life, the cycle of life. There's something you can do. Chalk's Male Vitality Stack. Now, there's one formulated for men, one formulated for women. For guys, one of the leading ingredients is proven in studies to replenish 20% of diminished testosterone levels within 3 months' time. So it's a source of energy, testosterone, that is so critical here. But there are other things too. And for women, Chalk has a supplement set for healthier hormone balance. Look, there's something for everyone at chalk.com. These are top quality supplements. I've taken them. They're fantastic. Chalk.com is where you go. CHOQ.com. Chalk has also decided to extend their surprise gift with your new subscription. Use my name, Buck, for a lifetime discount and the free surprise gift. So that's CHOQ.com. Chalk. Use promo code Buck. Or if you just want to use your phone, text 50CHALK3000. Say Clay and Buck sent me. That's 50CHALK3000. And Chalk's U.S.-based customer service team is ready to go, ready to